Oh, right, I forgot to talk about the Falcon Eye Quartz. Displays enemy locations on the minimap. It's, I mean, I personally would use it more for its elemental affinities than for its actual effects. I believe this quartz actually got buffed somewhat in the Evo version. I think it combined the effects of information as well in that one. Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the Third. Last time, we finished Chloe the movie, and this time, we are finally going to be progressing into the fourth floor, plane, almost said stratum, but that would be Etrian Odyssey. And even though I use them both in the arena, I think I'm going to still go with Olivier and Zin for this. Wow, that feel when Josette is higher level than Tita when it comes to my overall party. That's kind of depressing. Now, if I'm going to be going up against regular enemies, though, somebody needs to have the Haze... Oh, actually, no, Olivier has both Scent and Haze, that's fine. In that case, we're probably okay, unless I want to give somebody the Fool's Emblem. I did say that I was going to maybe show it off. Yeah, I could make this an Olivier-centric episode, I suppose. That could potentially be interesting. And I'm not going to spend any of my Seepith yet, because I get the feeling that, yeah, we're going to have more quartz available for purchase. Did I check the books? Yeah, no, wait, I'm pretty sure that I did check the books. It's just, I spent so long in that moon door, I've forgotten what reality is like. Or at least what passes for reality in Phantasma. But, yeah, we are actually going to be heading through here now. Where are we now? Nowhere I've ever seen before, judging from where I'm standing. Oh my! Well, that's a pretty vast expanse of land for this place to be recreating. Heh, now that's what I call a fine view. Wow, well, this is a lot prettier than the last plane at least. This must be another real place that's been recreated here in Phantasma, much like the capital was. Most likely, yeah. Just where is it though? Somewhere in Liberl? I doubt it. It's not familiar to me at all. My best guess would be somewhere along the Crone Mountains, but the air suggests otherwise. Oh. Huh? What's the Bracer Guild's emblem doing here? It looks like this really isn't a place that exists in Liberl. As far as I'm aware, there aren't any guild facilities like this anywhere in the country, yet Joshua would know. I'm not familiar with any either, nor am I aware of there being any buildings like this in Calvard. Would you look at that? The answer was right under our noses the whole time. It was? Yeah, it's easy to be caught up in analytics and not realize the obvious. This is Lelocle Training Center? I've probably butchered that. I've seen so many ways to pronounce that online. I know that name. Wasn't it the training camp Estelle went to a while back? You know, last year with Annalise? That's the one. It's a guild-owned facility located in Lehman State. I've never been there myself, though. I've only heard about it from Estelle. So this is Lelocle, huh? I've never trained here personally, but it's famous among bracers. That leaves us with yet another problem to solve. To my knowledge, Lehman State is quite the distance away from Liberl. Yeah, it is. It's farther away than both Erebonia and Calvard. But you know, I may not have a clue how a place in Lehman ended up being created here or why. But if our enemies did it, then they must have had a reason for doing so. Right? Heh, I knew you'd catch on. That sounded like... We've got company, guys. Huh. Here comes trouble. I suppose beastmen would be the best term for these things. This is probably what your next destination is the Path of Beasts was referring to. Another mystery solved. Watch out, there's a lot of them and this could get ugly. So yeah, last plane's theme was fairies. This one is beasts. We have werewolves. And we have these were-rats. I like these guys because they drop a little bit of time seepeth, but they can be annoying. It says calls for aid too. The beastmen are a little dangerous as well. Okay, let's see if okay, a lot of these things are resistant to aerial, which is my main form of area attack here. Or I could go for stone impact, maybe? I think I'll aim that there. I'm not really seeing the main benefits of the Fool's Emblem, seeing as this is not a preemptive battle, and all three of those werewolves are going at once, which is actually kind of scary. I wonder about something, though. I think Joshua still has the... Yeah, he still has the CP regeneration. Also, there's Pit Trap. However, you... Oh, actually, no, you didn't quite give him his S-Break, but you did now. Okay, Kevin... Okay, Kevin's got Titanic Roar. I guess I'm going to try Titanic Roar. And I think I'm going to go for... I don't think I'll even need True to stand in this fight, but I'm going to maybe avoid using Zodiac that much. Because, you know, fighting regular enemies, I don't want to blow that much EP all at once. Okay, that was pretty good damage. So I'm going to do this, then Titanic Roar, and then Joshua is going to clean up the stragglers, hopefully. Okay, yeah, that's 3 things down. Okay, that did a lot more damage than I expected it to.
That's that. Let's move out.
Admittedly, that was with full CP, but still. Yeah, I've got a lot of CPF. I almost said quartz, but it will become a lot of quartz soon, hopefully. And yay, they drop Beast Flesh, which is great because it means more Swing Witches. Okay, I was just thinking like is that like a we eating rat meat or like werewolf meat? And then I realized that eating werewolf meat would technically be cannibalism. Heh, fleeing to fight another day, huh? They're smart little devils. Devils do seem a lot more intelligent than your average monster. Enough to make me wonder whether these are another kind of impossible fiend like the rest. I'm with you, I can't pretend to be an expert on the monsters of Lehman, but I'm pretty sure they're not this smart. It looks like this plane stands to be a real ball. Here she comes. You have done well to come this far. On this plane, there are 3 ordeals to overcome. If you overcome them all, the next path will open. Take this. Map. Interesting. Be forewarned. The Lord of Phantasma's goal is your... that just reminds me of Zelda is your from Link to the Past that just caused so much fan speculation that he was going to end that sentence with sister. Well, she sure didn't stick around long. She probably got so little power left now it's difficult for her to show herself to us. So it seems, it must be a frustrating thing for her to deal with. Still, she left us with a useful gift. Yeah. Okay, it looks like the lodge at the top, in the top right is where we are now. Then there's this Bolstar channel place to the left of it. Maybe that's the ordeal she mentioned? Or one of them, at least. She mentioned there being 3 of them, but there's only one place that could fit that description marked on the map. I wonder if where the other 2 could be. From what I can see, these 2 roads lead to them. The ones that seem to just stop all of a sudden. But this plane most likely has its own rules we need to follow. If we followed those roads now, there's a big chance we'd end up finding nothing at the end of them. Unfortunately. Well, those are the cards we've been dealt. Let's just try heading over to the Bolstar channel and see what comes of it. But before we do that, we want to head inside the Guild Lodge, because firstly, there's a stone monument here we can activate. That'll let us walk back to the 4th plane whenever we want to. And upstairs, there's some chests, but oh boy, am I looking forward to getting to the actual Ballstar channel, because it has my favorite dungeon theme in the entire game, and possibly in any JRPG. Mine 4. Mr. Tiddles looks up with an annoyed expression. You disturbed his nap. That's like a running joke. I think it's supposed to be a cat, but it's a running joke with the localizations. Freezing meatballs. That's a pretty strong attack food item. Empty? No, my friend. I'm filled with artisan-style voidness. Suppose that's kind of deep-ish. Carnelia bracelets. Will write flavor text for food. I don't think this game's localization had nearly as brutal of a crunch as SC, so I feel a little bit less sad at seeing chess quotes like that. And luck. 6 of 12. 50 years later, well, that's a twist I didn't see coming. The dangling Healthotron swung limply in Hideko's house, forgotten and neglected. It had been purchased 50 years before, purely on Sato's recommendation. Now, the Luck Quartz is actually pretty interesting. It's one that I often like using on Joshua, but, yeah, 1 Earth, 3 time, 1 space. Increases enemies' item drop rate by 30%. Now, here's the thing about this quartz. It only applies if the person who is equipping it gets the kill. I could actually, no, I was thinking of putting it on Olivier because of his high speed and ATS, and then I thought, actually, maybe Joshua because of his S-Craft. There's a few options for it. I'm not sure I really need Mine 3 on Joshua, although if I put... Don't really need HP 3 on him by that logic. I think for now I'll go with that. I was just trying to think if I could get Death Scream on Joshua or not. And in terms of quartz we can make... Okay, we can make Mine 4. Shield 4. Impede 4. Action 4. Yeah, I did say that your repertoire of makeable quartz does expand pretty quickly. Yeah, we now have access to Action 4, and that's insane. EP Cut 4. Oh, I probably should be saving up for Action 4, because that's amazing. Well, Kevin can upgrade his mind, at least. Upgraded 1 slot on Olivier just for the extra EP, and now... Let's move out to the Ballstar channel. Again, get ready. This song is absolutely amazing, and I've been waiting so long to get to it. It sure is dark here. Still, I guess you can't expect much in the way of light from a staircase leading to an underground waterway. From what I've heard, this used to be an old ruin until the Bracer Guild repurposed it as a training area. You might not be able to expect much light, but I would have preferred it to be a little cooler than this. My ever-so-fashionable attire is getting covered in sweat. It is pretty damn hot. Nobody's gonna comment on that, are they? That weird rumbling sound I hear has been bugging me for a while, too. Actually, I think we're almost at the end, so maybe it'll cool down in a second. Or maybe it could be full of lava. What in the world? Well, it's no wonder we were feeling hot. Call me an optimist, but I doubt this is how this place normally is. Let's write this off as our enemy's work. I think it's a safe assumption to make, which means we're really going to need to proceed cautiously. How dare you interrupt the music? Wait, that was a surprise attack? That thing's front hit me. I'm not sure exactly how that was a surprise attack, but oh well. This is one of those times when I really wish that, that the music carried over into battles, but, oh yeah, so a lot of the enemies in here are very weak to water, as you might expect, since, you know, this is a very heavily fire-based area. Do I really need diamond dust here? I get the feeling that everything's gonna be dead by the time I get this off, but oh well. I think I'm okay with Joshua still having the CP regeneration. This is robbing Zin, but I want to see Olivier do this.
Enjoy the show.
Did I mention before that Olivier is voiced by Troy Baker? Because yeah, they recorded all of the lines at once for the for all of the Sky games. Olivier, I'm pretty sure, has no new voice clips of the third, though it's all entirely reused from FC and SC. And I believe And This Napalm is the only voice... Oh, actually, no, wait. I call this Requiem for a Doomed Opponent. Yeah, no, he still has some of his second S-Craft lines as SC exclusive. Okay, we have a whole bunch of these were-rats here. My mind suddenly went to a horrible pun, like were-rats? They're over there. Anyway... Trust me, I hate puns. I just sometimes I hear them in my head. I mean, make that sound that creepy, but yeah. Okay, we apparently got a rat's eyeball. But anyway, the area that we're in right now is actually optional, I think. But you want to go here because there's some really good stuff. Now, hopefully this won't be the wrong lever! Actually, no, it lowers the lava level. And that's going to be the gimmick of this place. Yeah, so this is one of those, you know, classic RPG dungeons where, we should all be very dead right now, but we are not. Now, there is a gimmick to these levers as well that is actually kind of weird. Sometimes, if you pull them a certain direction, they make chests spawn. So, always make sure that you flip every switch in every direction. And... I keep, yeah, getting the directions wrong sometimes. It's one of those you rather left situations. But yeah, normally you're supposed to use them to make bridges, but you, again, like, you want to make sure you push them in the direction that seems obviously wrong at first, because sometimes that means that, yeah, they will make chests appear out of nowhere. Heat-resistant boot. This is why you go this direction. Don't spend it all in one place, run along now. If by spend it, you mean give it to Olivier pronto, then yeah. So, heat-resistant boots. They give terrible defense, but that really doesn't matter, because, yeah, in this game, there's a lot of ways to get around defense, like Earth Wall. Defense doesn't really matter all that much, especially on Nightmare, where everything basically 1 to 2 shots you regardless. And plus, okay, yeah, agility minus 20, so you dodge less, but that also doesn't matter because nobody cares about evasion in this game, really. Plus 15 speed. It also reduces the damage that you take on the field by walking on lava. That's how you're supposed to use them, but it's the plus 15 speed that's really good. You stack that with Fool's Emblem and other things, and, well, you're about to see just how crazy this gets. And this dungeon contains enough of these heat-resistant boots to cover a full party, by the way. So, yeah. So, yeah, as you can see, we are losing health if we step in the lava. Like, even though, again, we really should be just outright dead just by being near it, but, you know. JRPG logic. But, yeah, Olivier is losing health at a much, slower rate. Skull Pendant. And I thought letting you rob me would have been enough to get rid of you. Uh-oh. Hi there, Mr. Big... didn't get a preemptive. So, yeah, Great Abyss. These things work exactly the same way as the Abyss Worms from Sky SC, which means that you do not want to focus on them. You want to focus on the other enemies first, because they're not really a huge threat alone, but the moment they even take the slightest bit of damage, they will start using full field hitting earthquake attacks. Yeah, a lot of people have problems with the Abyss Worm fight in Sky SC. because they don't have the information cords equipped and don't read that part of the description and see that it says causes quakes like when it's out. I mean, I guess it's not like entirely obvious the main strategy you're meant to use there, but that is kind of what you're supposed to do. Can I catch Joshua? No, I can't catch him in Sacred Breath. I'm gonna have to use an item. Do I have any recipes that I need to get in my log? I don't think I've ever used one of those before. Fluffy? Nope, I can't. Ah, okay. This is one of the few times that, yeah, Kevin's, I gotta kind of pray he doesn't attack Joshua, but, having an action quartz equipped is actually a bad thing. Of course he attacked Joshua. Okay, that's one. Of course, the rat that, died was the one that, oh boy, can I steal that turn? Only if I use a, That's interesting. Okay, well, I guess now's a good time to use that Amar Spiritus, even though it says strong alcoholic drink and Joshua is not of legal drinking age. Now, if that worm is immune to instant death, this could be a problem. It is not. Good. You want to be really careful while you're traveling on the lava, because, yeah, you do take damage pretty quickly, and the enemies can quite easily finish you off. So yeah, healing arts are actually somewhat decent in here. That is until we get a full complement of heat-resistant boots. Oh, this song is just so great. I love this song so much. It's just one of my favorite songs in any... Wow, you guys have a very strange hitbox. And you completely squandered your turn there. But you can see, like, I just got preemptived, and Olivier is still going first, and he can still cast things instantly. That is the power of heat-resistant boots plus other speed up accessories. It's really insane, just how this works. I honestly, like, in my Nightmare run, I kept the heat-resistant boots all the way up until the very end of the game. They're really that good. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to heal Zin. Zin's not really doing so well lately. Some people still like him in this game, but I'm still just, I don't know, I'm not really the biggest fan of Zin in the third, mostly because there are other physical attackers that are just a lot better. I believe I no longer have Zodiac, but I do think that's by design. Oh, I just realized something. I probably should buy Zin a better weapon, because I think the Stone Monuments are selling better weapons for Zin, and I think that's really crippling him right now. But here we get EP Charge. There is nothing left in this chest, mon ami. Am I sure? Très sure. Speaking of puns. Reviving Balm. Congratulations, you're the second adventurer to open this chest. This is why there's nothing left in it. But the thing is, Estelle actually would have opened that in the first game, because, yeah, this is actually a repeat dungeon from, not the first game, from SC, and more heat-resistant boots. Judge a dungeon not by the color of its textures, but by the content of its treasure chests. Yeah, exactly, they're lampshading it right there, but, basically the lava here is just reskinned water. This was this was a sewer dungeon before, but now it's a water dungeon. Kevin has 80 speed without a Fool's Emblem. That's just downright ridiculous. But I think we have everything over on this side, so I might actually just teleport out and buy a better weapon for Zin right now. Okay, yeah, that's a big strength increase. And yeah, Kevin does have a bow that has increased strength right now, but it does lower his ATS and other stats, so I'm going to stick with Ion for the moment. I can get an objectively better weapon for Joshua. I mean, sure, why not? Oh, Joshua's straight up missing an accessory right now. Also, the Carnelia bracelet prevents strength defense and arts defense. Why would you want to prevent arts defense down? I'll talk about this a little bit later, but arts defense is a really... In terms of buffs and debuffs, you don't care about any of those for arts defense in this game. Oh wow, those Skull Pendant Plus. Yeah, I really like this one. Plus 50 ATS and plus 5 speed and prevents instant death. That is a great accessory. We haven't found any stone monuments in here yet, but doesn't really matter because I had to go back to the beginning of the dungeon anyway. I can just do that to push Olivier out of the guard turn.
That's that. Let's move out.
Okay, that makes a chest appear. And yeah, the heat-resistant boots in that other room, you had to move the switch in order to make that appear. So definitely worth pulling that switch because heat-resistant boots are, yeah, some of the best accessories that you can get. But as I was saying before, this is essentially a reskin dungeon, but I'm actually okay with this because, well, one, the music is just that good, but two, this dungeon was a place we were only in Sky SC's prologue, so we didn't really get to be there for very long, and we could never revisit it, so it doesn't really feel like, and we only had 2 party members when we first explored it as well, Estelle and Annalise, so, like yeah, it's one of those where I don't mind it being reused assets. Again, it's likely been so long since a fan of this series has played this dungeon that it doesn't really sting that much. More heat-resistant boots. Didn't Sunday school teach you not to steal? I bet you were one of those kids who slept through lessons. Yeah, Sunday school is kind of weird in the Trails universe. It actually is education as well as a religious thing. Heat-resistant boots. Who wants more? Well, I suppose Joshua can. No, I don't want to make Zin get shafted. He had like speed in the 50s before. Now he has 80. Just. Oh, heat-resistant boots are just. I mean, they're great. They're great. And I don't think they're as broken as the Fool's Emblem is, but like they are still pretty insane.
99.
I mean, if you really care about item drops, then maybe you might want to intentionally leave weakened enemies to be killed by whoever has the luck quartz. But do were rats have any decent drops on them? Apart from beast flesh, not really. What about the werewolves? No, they can drop skull pendants, and composites 3, and snow and rain. Those, I think, are actually weapons for certain characters. I didn't actually notice that at first. We did get the titanium suit drop from that one. Kind of wonder if composites 3 is something that's actually worse than what's already available in the shop, though. I'm not sure. It might be. Okay, yeah, this looks like a situation where Diamond Dust would be nice. Yeah, these snails are incredibly resilient physically, so magic is the way to go on them, and particularly water magic.
99.
You will have a lot of fire seepeth after you're done with this place. And we have UF Pie. I am content without my contents. I think that's exactly a pun, it's just, I don't know, kind of nice wordplay-ish. Okay, so healing. A pie that can be thrown like a discus. Don't do that. Just, they had so much fun with the food descriptions in this game. But I guess it's kind of nice. 8,000 HP is pretty good. Just want to see if I can actually make, how many... Oh, I can make only one of these. If I buy more tomatoes, I can probably make a few more of them. Now that beast flesh, since we're in, you know, the path of beast flesh is a lot easier to get now. Azalea fruit, maple sugar. Oh, savory opinions, that's annoying. Everything else can be bought, but the savory opinion is a monster ingredient. It's always frustrating when good food requires monster ingredients. But, okay, in this area, I think since we've gone through the intro to the 4th plane and gone through half of this dungeon, I think I'll save going through this part and the boss of this place for the next part, so I will see you all next time.